So I'm joined by Adam Stott, who will be speaking at my next Business Growth Summit. And I know many of you are really interested to hear what Adam's got to say. So let me start off by asking you to introduce yourself, Adam.
Hi, my name is Adam Stott. I'm an international speaker, owner of Big Business Events. I've held about 100 events over the last 2 years, helping business owners with everything from social media, marketing, business growth, finance, and every different area that business owners generally need help with.
Excellent. And you're coming along, obviously, to my Business Growth event. What will you be speaking about at the event?
So I think we'll be speaking about growth and also how I grew my previous business. I'm going to talk about the good bits. I'm going to talk about the bad bits. I'm going to make it very real, very raw, and tell you everything really, and really go over what it takes. And it won't just all be the good, it will be the bad as well. And I think that really helps people to understand a real perspective of what it's like to grow a business. I'll be talking a lot probably also about the marketing and social media. Social media is something I've used to not to grow my own businesses, but to grow many other people's businesses as well, and really get them huge growth and lots of success. So I'll be talking a lot about that and some really great social media hacks that your people can use to grow their businesses.
Okay, great stuff. A lot of the people that I speak to and sort of hear from are either people that are maybe contemplating starting a business or maybe questioning themselves as to why they actually started one in the first place, and they're already on that journey. I mean, it's a tough place to be, starting and growing a business. But I think at 25, you sold your house to fund the start of a business. And what spurred you on to do that?
I think I'd had a lot of success in my previous career and gained a lot of confidence from what I was doing. I worked for BMW, I worked for Ford, and I worked for Amstrad, and I'd gained a lot of confidence in sales, and I really felt that it was the right time for me to take the next step. That doesn't mean that it was easy. I had some big challenges right at the beginning, and you have to kind of work through those. It is, if you're going to start your own business, I think it's very important that you've got a thick skin and that you are able to take the challenges, because they will come thick and fast. But if you've really got that drive and that mentality, then you will get through those challenges no matter what they are. But it does take a good drive and a good mentality. And if you haven't got that right now, the good news is that can be cultivated. You know, nobody starts out. I think people in business, when they start out, they think that they should know, and they do know what they're doing. But the reality is, even if they're really good at what they do, they're probably not going to be great at finances. They probably won't understand management accounts. They probably won't understand balance sheets. They probably won't understand marketing. They won't understand how to look after their staff, how to grow their teams. And all of those skills have to be cultivated over time. So if you've just started out, you don't need to know everything, but you do have to get the information. And I think that's why the event that you're going to do is going to be fantastic, because that's exactly the sort of place that you can go and get the information. It's going to help you grow.
And I think that the business that you started when you're 25, I think it ended up scaling up to sort of 8-figure revenues. I think, was it recognised by the London Stock Exchange 3 years?
Yes. So it was 1,000 businesses to inspire Britain, 3 years running, 1,000 businesses to inspire Europe. It was the largest social media presence. We generated over 2,000 leads a month and sold over £50 million worth of products via social media. So it was a fantastic business, which is in the automotive industry, which is a tough industry.
Indeed,
and we had record growth, and we grew by 900% in the last 3 years. And one thing I really believe is that as a business owner, if you don't grow, the business will outgrow you. And the more you grow as a business owner, the more the business will grow. And that's why I started the events business a couple of years ago, to help business owners. And then I just found it to be what I was more passionate about. And as times changed in the car industry, I obviously evolved over to doing more of the events, and I love it. And I love helping people through those challenges, because there's so many challenges, and it's like anything. And if you ask people starting a business, people in business, if you can help people solve problems in some capacity, then people probably will pay you to do that. And that's kind of, a good way to look at it. Do you solve a problem? Do you solve it more efficiently than other people? Or can you help them more effectively? And if you can, then you're probably going to build a good business.
And I know, I mean, obviously you do a lot of public speaking aside with the sort of events that you run. I think you wrote a book as well, 10 Reasons Why Businesses Fail, bestseller on Amazon, I believe.
Yes.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I've wrote a few books. So I've got that one. I've got 40 Rules, which is another one, 40 Rules of Business. And then I've got another one that's just launching now called The Social Media Money Machine.
Okay.
And that's how to use social media to create revenue, basically, for your business. Something that I think every business owner needs to know.
Yeah, indeed. Well, I mean, I know from my own research, I think 94% of business startups fail in the first 5 years, which for me is just a really staggering statistic. So it's pretty tough out there. What do you think is the main reasons why businesses perhaps fail?
I think that there's quite a few different reasons. I think cash flow is a big problem for a lot of businesses. I think running out of cash is the lifeblood of any business, and when you run out of cash, it becomes very difficult. I think changes to the market and the economy. I've seen a lot of businesses that have got into government-based funding, put everything behind it, spent lots of money on it, and then the government have pulled the funding. And one thing that I talk about is to look at your single points of failure. You know, what are the things that can KO your business? What are those single things that you can address? And then the business owner yourself is you have to have a passion and a mentality for what you do over a long period of time. And if you get to the point where you don't want to do it anymore, then actually you end up taking your eye off the ball and it causes problems. And I think your commitment levels have to stay consistent, and that happens a lot of the time. That needs to stay, your commitment levels need to stay consistent through life changes as well. You know, you might have life changes, you might have personal issues, you might have business partner breakups, you might have marriages, you have divorces. Additional pressures and stresses create change within businesses, and you have to kind of ride those things out. And I think riding those things out, the business owner needs to be 1,000,000% committed in order to, you know, come rain or shine, to keep going. You know.
Okay. Well, my event is obviously going to look at sort of the polar opposite of that and how you actually grow and scale a business. And I do get asked a lot of the time by people, how do you really meaningfully grow and scale a business? And I guess one of the key areas of focus is ensuring that you've got amazing sales and marketing.
Yeah, absolutely.
A function that converts those leads to revenue. And I guess many of the businesses can fall into what I call the leaky bucket syndrome. So they might find a really good marketing channel that works for them, but then they put loads in the bucket. But then if they've got poor sales processes, they miss a load of opportunities. Or it could be the reverse, that they're poor at marketing, but they've got great sales processes. So just perhaps you can share what you think sales and marketing should look like in a business.
Absolutely. So one of the things that I've taught business owners since I started the events business is really the first step to business growth comes from increasing the amount of leads and opportunities in your business. If you increase leads and opportunities, and the best way to do that is through effective marketing. After that, I think the bit that a lot of people miss is actually improving the effectiveness with how you engage with those leads. To make sure that you actually get through to more of them. You can generate all the leads in the world, but if you don't get past first base and you can't even contact them, that's no good either. So we need to increase the way we effectively engage, and that doesn't just come down with phone calls. That comes down to your marketing, your opt-in pages, to making sure that you convert more. And actually get more leads more effectively. Then really it's a sales process. Have you got the right sales team? Have you got the right people in your sales team? Are you driving sales effectively? Are you making sure you maximize? Then it's down to increasing the transaction value. Have you got upsells in place? Have you got downsells in place for the people that can't afford your main products or service? Are you looking at cross-selling is another part? And are you really looking after your repeat business and strategic referrals? So after you've looked at that, you've really got to look at your wow moments. Are you wowing your clients? If you're wowing your clients, they're going to come back in droves. They're going to become your raving fans, who in turn are going to tell everyone else about you. So that's very important as well. And then after you've got to that point, is your product delivery perfect? You don't forget your products, you know, because a lot of people, they get this growth and they can't actually sustainably deliver the products in the right way, which means that they start to unwell their clients. So you really can't forget your product during the growth phase. And then finally, have you got after sales that sell? So in terms of, are your after sales geared up for more transactions, repeat transactions? Have you got a strategic repeat business plan? And have you got a strategic referral plan? Now, if you've got all that in place, then you've got the core for a really good business.
Yeah.
And I talk about that on a lot of the events I do. I speak about, I think one of the things about yourself, Paul, and obviously about myself, because I've been through it, I've got a wide array of knowledge in many different areas, and I'm able to speak on marketing, speak on sales, I'm able to speak on finances, fundraising, but you can't do that if you've not run a large business. And I think anyone that's run a large business will know that you have to be well-rounded. And when you start out, you're not well-rounded. That's the reality. When I started out, all I knew how to do was sell. That was my only skill. I had to learn everything else. And that's why if you've got the opportunity to come on and learn from people like you're talking about at your event, then you've got to take that opportunity. You have to, because that's going to be what really gets you the growth. It's a core fundamental. As I said, the more you grow as a business owner, the more your business will grow.
Absolutely. So I know social media is an area that's of real interest to you. How do you think social media has changed things for a growing business? I mean, when I was a teenager growing up, which doesn't seem that long ago, I know I might look like I've got some grey hair, but there wasn't Facebook, there wasn't Instagram, there wasn't Snapchat, and now the way that businesses sort of market themselves is almost being turned on its head by those sort of more innovative social media channels than potentially your more traditional advertising sort of route. So how do you think social media has changed?
I think the most important part is most people don't understand social media for business. Most people think social media for business, I'll put some posts out, I'll put some information out, and all of a sudden people are going to come into my restaurant, or they're going to ring my recruitment company. And the reality is most people are doing social media wrong. Social media is there to generate leads and generate business. And if you understand how to use it properly, then the first step of business growth, increasing leads, is easier than you can imagine. And social media can be used to generate leads to your business very, very quickly. It doesn't matter what business you're in. You can get talking to the right people, start to cultivate leads and do business straight away. And I think social media's changed. When I hold events on social media, you'll get all these business owners come, and it amazes me because some of them will be solicitors, or they'll be lawyers, or they'll be professionals, whatever it might be, that have spent 5-6 years learning their craft, learning their trade. They've studied, they've took the exams. Or sometimes it will be a small business owner that spent 10 years learning how to get into profit. But they don't spend a week or 2 days or 3 days, on a course or an event or whatever it might be, to really understand how to use this tool, which is, for me, the most powerful tool in business right now. And that is using social media to make money. And I think that more business owners need to understand the power of it. You can use it for brand awareness. You can use it for getting your name out there and building your business brand or your personal brand. Yes, but you can actually use it to sell your products and services and to get leads and start your sales process immediately, quick fire. And any business can do that, and that's something that I show businesses how to do.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you. I think it works right across the spectrum. I mean, it's interesting you mentioned there, about solicitors and things like that might come on your programs. I'm invested in a law firm, and they actually use Facebook to generate leads from people that have sort of had accidents and stuff like that. So
absolutely.
Claims. And I mean, they're getting something like 70 leads a week.
Absolutely,
using just Facebook. So I think it can work right across the spectrum. So I think it's really quite an interesting space. So I mean, you're pretty prolific, I think, on social media. I think is it 400,000 likes on Facebook, 500,000 views on YouTube. How's that sort of propelled your own business interests, having that sort of presence?
Well, I've built channel. I mean, on my own personal Facebook, and this is the thing: it's not all about the likes. I think I've got about 20,000 people on my own personal one. I've got other pages which are to amount to over 400,000. I've had 500,000 views on YouTube. How's it helped me? I mean, it's about having that presence. And people being able to hear about you and see you and understand what you do, see if you talk sense, see if you can relate to them, see if you think that guy could help me, or that event could help me. And people are out there consuming information. Now, they're either consuming your information or they're consuming somebody else's. And that choice is completely up to you. And if you make that choice, you will find that you attract more opportunities to you because they can consume your information rather than somebody else's. So I think it's important to put the information out there. There's different stages to social media: lead generation, creating leads, and selling via social media is slightly different to having a great omnipresence, which is where you've got a presence, where you've got a message, and you're putting that message out consistently. And if you can, then you should do both. And that's what we try to do, is to try to show and give people the opportunity to understand the kind of value we can add to them. But we also are out there gaining leads and opportunities, which my sales teams then can actually actively go after and do business with those people as well. And I think you've got to have that two tiers to the way you do business on social media. You know?
Okay. And just going back to some of the sort of public speaking and events that you run, you've shared a stage with some pretty famous people.
I have, yeah.
Who's been the most interesting people that you've shared a stage with?
I think that I have, you know, I say been lucky enough, but I've worked quite hard in this business and been able to get on the stages. And I think probably Floyd Mayweather was a very interesting character because he's got a public persona, which personally was nothing like that. He's actually a humble, nice guy that was very sensible, that just seemed completely different to the public persona he puts out there and the brand he puts out there. So I actually had a lot of fun speaking to him, interviewing him, getting to know him. And obviously Anthony Joshua, who's heavyweight champion of the world. I think that I was a big fan of his boxing. I like boxing, I like football. So he was a cool guy to get to know. And then obviously some of the others, people like Al Pacino. I hosted an event in LA where I hosted the entire event, and I interviewed Al Pacino on stage with another very famous speaker. And it was a great, you know, it was a fantastic event. It was a great experience. I've been a big fan of his forever. So that was obviously a cool moment for me as well, you know. And there's been loads of people, and I think that that opportunity to share the stage with some really big people has definitely propelled my personal brand and allowed more people to sort of come across my message. But the most important thing is, can you get people results? And all the celebrity and the brand in the world's great, but you've got to have the bit between your ears that can get that can get people the results. And that's where I believe that I really add the most value, is in terms of how I can help business owners grow. You know, I
think it's that expertise, isn't it? That you're not just speaking about something that you've learned about. You've actually been there, done it, built a business successfully, and it's that skills and experience that I guess has you know, really got you to where you are today, and you're able to share that with the business.
Yeah. And I think it's not just that. It is the good and the bad. And I've had moments, and you know, where they've been tough, and I've had moments when I come out of it. It was tough at times, but it's being able to help people get through those moments, which I think is very, very important, and being able to offer that experience and have a full spectrum of experience, which I think a lot of people don't have. And that's where I can probably really add that. Well, I know I can add a lot of value to people, you know. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think I say a lot of the time that it's okay to make mistakes as long as you learn from them. And for me, it's given me a more rounded business experience by maybe, you know, with hindsight, I'd have done things differently in certain situations. If you sort of had your time again in sort of starting your business, what would you have done differently? What have you sort of learned along the way? Well, you know,
I think what I would have done differently is I probably would have rounded my skills earlier. I overall, I enjoyed that journey, and that's a closed chapter now. And I really did enjoy it. I loved it. The thing is, I found something that I love doing more. And because of that, that's kind of where I sort of choose to spend my time. I still help a lot of people in that industry on many different things, including marketing and with their business growth. I think understanding that controlled growth is extremely important as well, and actually controlling that growth in the right way. And there's times that, you know, especially when you find the right way to generate leads and sales to your business. It's having the right processes and the right systems in place to handle those. I think you've got to get the right team around you. And the thing is, when you start to do really, really well, and you attract a lot of people, there's a lot of people telling you they're the right people. And sometimes, because you're so busy, you can get clouded about the people you choose, and you don't make your decisions quick enough. And I think that's where having a coach and having somebody to tell you. I've got one of my coaching clients I was speaking to yesterday about to make a really bad decision, and it kind of reminded me of a bad decision I've made myself. And I really had to go into depth as to why he should not make this decision, which I think would really hurt him. And I was able to draw on that experience. I'm not just telling you that because it's my intuition. I'm telling you that because I've been in that situation before. And I think that is the benefit of coaching. And obviously I know that you invest in businesses. I coach a lot of businesses, and I suppose that you take on that role a lot with your investments sometimes as well, where you help people from doing the things that they shouldn't be doing. And a wise man learns from his mistakes, while a genius learns from other people's. You know. So
okay, really good to talk to you today, Adam. And apart from obviously people attending my event and hearing you speak, for those people that aren't attending or want to find out more about what you do and reach out to you, how can people get in touch with you?
So you can go on to adamstott.com. There's some sort of free resources and things where you can get some more information, and you can jump on there and leave your details, and obviously we can get in touch if you maybe mention this interview that you've watched, and that'd be great. And obviously my book and stuff's on Amazon, so you can go on there too. But more than anything, really look forward to being at the event, helping the people that come along, and being part of their journey. Which is really exciting. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Great. All right, Adam, thanks. It's been a real pleasure. Thanks ever so much for your time, and I'll see you in a few weeks' time.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks, Paul. Thank you.
Cheers.